All right, what's up, YouTube? Get ready for a nice, healthy day. Nice, healthy day. I'm still short NQ. I'm still short NASDAQ. I'm long NQ. They're starting to build 35.75. I would not be surprised to see that taken out. So I'm probably going to be looking to close out my calls right at the open. I don't expect much out of them, maybe 15%. For some reason, I cannot find the PM contracts in IBKR to look up the premiums. So, yeah. Let's play it safe today. Small position sizes. Do not expect anything. We could be just as easily go to 35.75 as we could 37.57. So expect nothing. They're continuing to build 35.75 substantially. Substantially. We're about to break down even lower. Going into the bell. Crazy stuff. All right, we've got 20 seconds. Let's be smart, play smart, and have a good day. And always remember position size and risk mitigation. With this volatility, with the VIX over 32, 33, this is not the time to go big position sizes. So let's do it. I will be looking at, right now, 36.80 calls, 36.50 puts, somewhere around there. There's the market open. Ding, ding, ding. Right now. So, all right, 36.75. They've brought my calls to break even. I'm break even on these after being very, very up on them last night. They're currently trading for $27, which is great. We entered at $27.90, so I'm just about breaking even on them. A little bit of a bummer, but we'll see where this thing is going to go. They were up 67% about 25 minutes ago. But that's how it goes. All right, so they're starting to build 3,600 liquidity down here on Bookmap. They've got 37.50 above us, 285. They've got 37.37 coming in. They took off 36.70, and we have a green candle starting out right here. I need to bring up the tri charts right there. There you go. There's NASDAQ, there's SPY, and there's the VIX. So, all right, the position is back green, so here's your chance to take profits if need be. If you're so inclined to do so. All right, nice healthy green candle. Let's see how high they're going to take this thing. 367.10, climbing up, climbing up, climbing up. We've got 25% on these calls. I'm going to go ahead and start looking to take profit. How's our Bookmap looking? Looking good. They've got a level here at 36.70. They took off that 36.55. And now a big top wick right there. All right, so let's take a look at the other sectors here. There's a nice big green, nice big top wick. We've got XLK, XLV, big green on XLV, XLF coming off there, red candles, XLY is starting to pop, XLC. Ooh, look at communications, big old pepperoni there. XLI is green, P, E, so a lot of green in there, except for the financial sector, XLF. TLT, the bonds are still hanging out at 112 after being down in the 107s yesterday. So the bonds went on an absolute rally. And SPYs is kind of hanging out here at 366, seeing where it wants to go after a big, big smoke show last night. If you are not comfortable holding the swing calls anymore, here's your chance to get out. I'm up 20% on these things. So, do your thing. Do your thing. What's up, YouTube? How you doing? How you doing? You had mentioned that the worst outcome for Wednesday was a stagnant market, which was pretty much what happened. Can you update us on your outcome? Yeah, I pretty much broke even on the initial strangle. However, I scalped the position into profitability. I literally closed the day like plus $2,000. I was barely green. So, which obviously, anytime you're green on the day is a win. That's great. It was a bummer for me though, because I was expecting a pretty substantial win. So right now I am holding 5 positions actually. 2 futures plays and 3 calls. The the Apple call that was part of the strangle from Wednesday, the XLF call that was part of the strangle from Wednesday, and then the current 3670 calls we took late last night, which are now up 30%. So, yeah, buddy. All right, so we've got some green at 367.40, and we've got the NASDAQ at 11,277. Still hanging out, no additional plays. Why am I long SPY but short Qs? So I am long, honestly, right now, I do not care about the short ES. I am long NASDAQ. That's my main play. I shorted the ES. Yet, here, I'll go ahead and tell you, y'all don't have to ask me 8 billion times if I'm in a position, I promise you. I'll post it if I exit these positions. So especially with swing plays, I'll give y'all a good indication. I just want to squash that because I don't want to gum up the chat. We got a lot of people here. So, yeah, so the short ES, the whole intent of the short ES is to protect my NASDAQ upside. So I don't really care about those. If I break even on them, I don't care. It's a hedge against my NASDAQ, and I'm going to treat it as such. I'm not going to try to scalp the bottom, or like time the bottom, close out the ES, and then continue to ride the ES. I don't care. I'm going to continue to play the ES and break even if I need to, and hedge the calls, exactly. So the calls are currently up 35%, so that's great. I'll probably go ahead and take those off here and start looking to build into another position. I'm telling you, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna double down on what Oscar just said there. Take profits. This is not the day to hold out. I know we're all looking for upside, but this is still very volatile. The VIX is still very high, and things can go shaking. I think we all can see what happens when we get excited in pre-market with what just happened in the past half hour. So up 33%. I'm going to go ahead and take at least some of these positions off. I'm going to close half here. I'm going to put in an order for 3670. And filled half at 3670. Taking profit off. Nice, Mr. Hanna. See? Everyone's all freaking out. All you got to do is be calm. I'm just signed up for the Tier 1. I'm not sure how to locate the Discord channel. Brennan, if you are in the Discord, head over to the trading floor in the trading corner, and you'll see that there. Little top wick just under R1. Shaking and baking. Top wick. Do I think we're heading lower for the rest of the year? Yes, Thomas. I think we're heading much lower. I'm very and from a macro standpoint, I am very bearish. I think today we could possibly see some upside, but in terms of the macro, I am very bearish. Mr. Hanna, good stuff. All right, so we're hanging out here between S1 and R1. That's kind of where I wanted to see it because that's where I calculated my SR levels off, which is even. So right in between S1 and R1. Looking at the liquidity here, they still have this large level at 36.20, and they still have levels at 37.50. So we're pretty much neutral on the day. That's why I'm not adding any positions right now. I'm just managing my futures plays and my 36.70s. What do you think will be the bottom for the year? Here's the thing. The lower we go without the VIX spiking, the lower my target price gets. Because we're not going to bottom out until we capitulate, and we haven't capitulated yet. The VIX has not spiked yet. And we're not going to see that until we get a big sell-off. I'm going to do analysis write-up on what we've seen the past month, because yesterday was very eye-opening for me. Something I kind of missed is that ever since we fell off from 4,100 down to here, every single day has been chop. The entire fall from 4,100 to 3,600 has been during pre-market hours, and we have chopped sideways every day. Buyers are still hitting the candles every day during the market. Every day, the buyers are hitting the candles. So green candles, it's 50-50 green-red with some major sell-offs in pre-market. And you don't see that in a fearful market. You don't see that in a market that has had huge downside. So, yeah, until the VIX goes to 45, until we have another day where we're just trend down and sell off and crush everything, then we are not going to find lows. So like I said, the lower we go without the VIX spiking, the lower my price target gets, because eventually the VIX is going to spike to upper 40s. We're going to capitulate, and then wherever we are from wherever that happens at, we'll drop an additional 400 to 500 points from there. So if we're at 3,500 when that happens, 3,100, 3,000, who knows? I don't really like taking leap puts. I like taking month to 5 week dated puts like I did a couple weeks ago. And there will be another one of those we take, but when we are properly positioned. Once we get another little bounce up to maybe 3,900, maybe 4,000, we'll look at taking another monthly dated put, and we'll hopefully have another 1,700% gain. All right, so I've got my call. I've got the order form up for the calls here. Just in case we start to fall here. We're up 21% on them. Everything's good to go. I'm very green on the day. I'm not quite as green as I was hoped, but I'm still very green. In a choppy market like this, I will take any green number. I don't care what it is. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump on y'all earlier about asking about if I'm still open. I just want to let everybody know I will update you. I promise. Blew up my account on Tesla, coming back to this channel for education. Nice, Andrew. Well, let us get you there. I understand Tesla's very difficult to play. That's why I don't really play it all that often. Although yesterday would have been a fantastic play if I would have held that Tesla. Or not held it, but if I would have entered. I was looking at taking a Tesla put, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And 10 seconds later, it freaking tanked. That would have been a beautiful play. Beautiful play. All right, we're up 37% on these calls. Looking beautiful. Beautiful. I stopped out my ES shorts for break even, so I'm no longer in the ES shorts. I'm just in the NASDAQ longs. So now we're finally breaking back up through R1. I'm up 42% on the calls, and we're going. Still no additional positions. And that's how I play futures plays. So is S5 supposed to be 361? Yep, probably. I didn't see what it was. Yes, 361. So that is an error. Thanks for showing me that. So that is a play that I want you all to really understand is the futures plays. I do not care, like when I am placing a hedge, you have to treat a position as a hedge, because I do not care about being profitable on a hedge if the price action reverts back and is beneficial for my original position. The purpose of a hedge is to protect downside or the upside, depending on what our position is. In this case, protect against downside. I don't care if it's profitable. If the price action reverses and goes well, cool. Then I am well. I'll close out the hedges. For members, do you have live screen 5 days a week showing bookmap? Right now, only video is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. However, I just got a updated setup here where now I have multiple screens where now I can manage the streaming a little bit better, and I probably will be doing streaming every day for the members. However, on Mondays and Tuesdays, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm still going to keep it for the members. It's not going to be open for public, just like it is on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. All right, so there is some red bouncing off of that pre-market high level. We came up here on ES. So we shot right back up from 3671 to 3700, a little 30-point pop, right back to the pre-market levels before another rejection. Seems like you need a large account to do futures. Well, there are multiple different options on. Well, I want to choose my words carefully. and not options, but there are multiple different variables. You can choose, there's 4 different contracts on which you can play. You can play NASDAQ, you can play the micro NASDAQ, you can play the ES, or you can play the micro ES. You have to trade the micros. If you've got less than a $50,000 account, you need to be trading the micros. Over $50,000 account, you could start to dabble with one ES or one NASDAQ. In fact, not even NASDAQ. Take that off the table. Unless you've got a upper 6-figure account, do not trade NASDAQ. Do not trade NQ unless you've got an upper 6-figure account. I would say anything less than 200 grand, you do not need to be touching NQ. And even then, only if you have great experience. For me, I do hedge 1-to-1 with ES NASDAQ. However, I'll tell you, if my main position is NASDAQ and I'm hedging with ES, it's not. I will do the contracts 1-to-1. However, I am understanding that it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. NASDAQ will overcome ES. A relative move on ES and NASDAQ will yield a lot more, just because it's a beast. So if you want to do a true 1-to-1, it's really like if you're doing 3 contracts of NASDAQ, you need to do 4 contracts of ES, which 4 contracts of ES is very substantial. So if you do the notional value, that's well over 7 figures. So. All right, so there's not really much liquidity around again. They're starting to build more liquidity into the September contracts, but everything is still mostly on June. They've got a level at 37.50. They got a level they just put on at 37.40, and they still have 36.70 on here. They took off the lower stuff. In fact, they had very large liquidity at 35.80 and 36.20, which was concerning me on pre-market, but they have since wiped all that. They do have the main level at 3600, but that's a weekly level, so I'm not going to pay too much attention to that unless they start managing this liquidity and putting some on there. Until then, 3600 right now is a moot point unless they start adjusting. So, where's Kelly? Am I back to being a genius again? She's like, OM's a genius. And I was like, hold off. Don't call me a genius yet. We still have 9:30 coming. And then everyone's like, oh, why did we take a call when we knew this was going to happen? And now we're back up. What's my thesis going into the afternoon? Right now, Jeff, my thesis is squeeze into the bell. I think all those puts are going to unravel, and it's going to cause a squeeze. That's not meant it's bullish. I don't think I'm bullish. Nothing about this market is bullish. However, just market mechanics. The options chain is heavily skewed for in-the-money puts, and I think all those puts are going to unravel, and we're going to go up. Did you follow your plan and wake up at 5 and click refresh? Man, I was up at all. Here, I want to show you this because I was laughing. I was laughing at this. I woke up at about 1:40 in the morning. I roll over. I look at my phone, and I'm like, huh, man, the market's up really, really good right now. And guess what? That right here is 1:40. So I literally wake up. I'm like, man, the market's up really good. 30 seconds later, 100-point sell-off. I'm like, oh, okay. I roll back over. I adjusted my stops up. I moved my stop up to here, right there, went back to sleep. Luckily, it rebounded, but yes, I woke up quite often. I don't really sleep really well when I'm holding swing positions. Yeah, who needs sleep? Who needs sleep when we're making money? That's right. All right, so we're kind of hanging out right here. I got 44% on the calls. I'm probably going to go ahead and start taking more profit on these things for the remainder of the position. Looking at the book map, we've got a little liquidity at 37.10 and a little bit here at 36.90. That's about it. Thanks, Kelly. Yeah. Is a swing position overnight? Or I call anything overnight, I call a swing. I don't care how dated it is. It's just anything overnight. In that scenario, do you think swinging calls to Monday would be a good idea? No. Well, you have to remember, this is a long weekend. So Monday, the market's closed. So we have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday's opens. So we don't know what's going to happen over the weekend. There's a lot of potential news headlines. For me, there's too much risk to hold a position over the weekend. So I will close out everything and have no positions going into Tuesday. So So we're barely trickling out here to R1. And just remember, every single day since May 27th, we have been chop. Yes, it's been sometimes it's slightly uptrending, sometimes it's slightly downtrending, but it's been chop. So we very well could chop in a defined range, maybe between R1, S3 until 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And maybe then we rage. I don't know. So, yeah, Jay Powell already talked. He talked this morning. It was a nothing sandwich. He didn't really say anything that we don't already know. Today's quad witching as well. Yes. So that was a nice green candle. Flipped. But here, look at all that liquidity. I'll give you a little book map update. Nice, Damien, 9.11%. All right, I think I'm going to take 40% here, at least another contract or so. A couple contracts here. 38.50. I'm going to put one in for 39 and see if I can get filled. That's a little bit high. Oh, all right, hold on. Let's see if we can get a little higher. Let's do for 40. Let's try 40. All right, I got a limit order in for a couple of positions, or a couple of contracts on the 3670s for $40. Let's see if I can get me a fill. I got NASDAQ is trying to go for new high of the day. 11,325. Coming back up. All right, bam, I just got a fill for 40. I have a couple of runners. Close another batch at 40. Holding runners. Apple's raging. I'd love for Apple to go 134. If Apple can go to 134, I might make some money back on my my calls from the strangle on Wednesday. Max paying for SPX. Man, if we go to 4140, today's going to be a very good day. So last night I had a very large amount of interest on my Twitter account. I had like 300 followers yesterday. So I spent a little more time on Twitter yesterday looking around. And there's a lot of people that, I mean, they have no clue what they're doing. And these people have like 70,000 followers. And they're like, they don't know when to play calls. They don't know when to play puts. They're all over the place. They're chasing. They're constantly chasing the market. They're chasing the moves. So the fact that we were able to identify the exact bottom yesterday, close out all puts, go into calls when everyone else is like, nothing's going to bounce. Y'all are crazy. Well, the market's up 1.5%, and we are up 53%. So, yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, I've got a Twitter. Spot Gamma retweeted me. That's why. Spot Gamma's got like 70,000 followers, and they retweeted one of my stuff. Can you review how you called the bottom? 3650 was a very substantial. I was calling for 3650 all day yesterday. I kept saying 3650 is a target, 3650 is a target. Once we got down there, I closed out all my puts, and not to mention tomorrow's OPEX. And then Spot Gamma helped me identify the bottom. They said those 3,700 open interest was substantial. And you have to think about what happens when you've got a put. What do we do? What do you do when you've got a put that's extremely in the money, and then tomorrow is the expiration? What are you going to do? Are you going to let it expire? To hold it until expiration? No. So when you've got millions, hundreds of millions of dollars pinned at 3,700 puts that are substantially in the money, you're going to close those positions out. And all that negative delta coming off, when you've got that much negative delta expiring, the position's going to unravel, and that we're going to have some sort of relief buy. We're going to have some sort of relief pop. Kind of like a desk pop. So that's kind of why I was looking at, I'm going to close out all my puts, and I'm going to play calls in tomorrow. And if you go back and look, it takes a lot for me to swing calls. If you go back and look in the day trades, in the past year, I've probably swung calls overnight, maybe twice. So it takes a lot for me to swing calls overnight, especially as bearish as I am right now from a macro standpoint. I'm very bearish macro. So, yeah, the good old days. All right, I'm up 60%. Let's go. NASDAQ, new highs. Broken finally. Wiped out that little scare. The algos kicked on, roasted us, and now we're up to 11,334. Things are looking good. Things are looking good. Who thinks 3,800 today? Man, if we go to 3,800, what a day. What a day. Will my 370s print? I don't know. Right 20 minutes ago, we were talking about 3,600. So let's just chill out and see what happens. Just ride what you're thinking. Hey, I'm just glad to be on the same side as Trader J today. Oh, nice, Ian. I'm glad you saw that. What happens to your option if you let it expire? You'll get whatever the value is at closing. You'll when the market settles, they'll settle up, and whatever the value is at closing is what you'll get. And that's fine, but you're not going to get the full capacity of the premium. Like you don't want to let long premium or a long contract go to expiration. It's just not to your benefit. Usually, you're going to face a lot of decay, even if it's really unless it's so far in the money the delta's one, then you're probably fine on it. But yeah, I don't think we'll see 3,800. Maybe I would say 3,750, 3,740 if things got silly. But I don't think we'll see 3,800. I hope we do. I mean, heck, I'll hold Nasdaq till Valhalla. But I'm up 8,900 on them right now. But yeah, good old days when I used to do one-on-ones. I wish I could do one-on-ones. Trust me, I wish I could do one-on-ones. But after I got about 30 people signed up for the one-on-one tier two, I couldn't do it anymore. Like it was taking up all my time. I couldn't do anything else. So I had to go to a group setting. Where do you see the Spot Gamma info on 3,700? You do need a subscription to Spot Gamma, which I do have an affiliate link for Spot Gamma as well. So head over to the affiliates channel if that's something you want to sign up for. Spot Gamma has great data. I used to use their gamma levels a lot. I've kind of backed off on using their gamma levels because it pretty much was already telling me what I already knew. But their notes, their daily breakdown, their pre-market analysis is amazing. And Brent does a great job. Brent is one of the dudes that does the analysis, the dude that does the analysis of Spot Gamma. He's an awesome dude, very smart. And what's different about his than other pre-market analysis is that Brent doesn't focus on macro, like geopolitical stuff. He doesn't focus on a bunch of nonsense. He focuses on strictly data. He focuses on options chain data, delta, gamma, how the options chain works. So it's fantastic. That's why I enjoy using his analysis because it's strictly driven by numbers and data and the options chain, not a bunch of nonsense. So yeah, I signed up for the yearly. I paid for the yearly. That's not something they gave me. I paid for the yearly myself because I believe in it, and that's the only other thing I have except for Bookmap. I don't want to share them just because I'm not. Uh, I don't want to get in the realm of having of sharing paid stuff for them, especially with thousands of people. So I have access to the hero. I don't use it at the moment just because I've got so much to monitor. I do need to get in there and learn how to use that thing and monitor the hero. All right, so SPY came up to R2, which is a substantial level, rejected. So did the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq put in a new high, rejected. Now it's a little aggressive. So now the one caveat I will put on today's OPEX rally is that twofold. There's twofold. One, we're still in a bear market. The sellers are still in the driver's seat. Two, the sell algos are killing this thing. All pre-market long, we've had very, very aggressive and substantial sell candles over and over and over again. And that right there is just another indication of yet another one. That's an algo. I mean, you can see this, just dip. So what is OPEX? Options expiration. So still very much here. That's why I am very, very skeptical of any movement until roughly about 12 o'clock. Then I'll start looking for a squeeze up until the close. $36.90 just got put on. Kyler says we're going to 390 today. That would be incredible. Yes. I will post when I close out the rest of my calls. The only time I don't post stuff like exactly live is if I'm doing a quick scalp that I haven't to manage. But the swing stuff, yeah. I'll post it exactly when I do it. All right, so 3690 here on ES. They've got 3715. They took off 3720. They removed a lot of 3730. They're just kind of spreading stuff all over the place here. But that's a substantial candle. That's a dollar move right there on SPY. What strike price are you looking at now? At the moment, if we're going to go with calls, I am looking at 3710. 3710 right now. So, and on puts, if we do break down, 3680. 3680. Whatever happened to Evergrande? Man, that was like that was like December. Where do we see the bottom for SPX? I don't know. I'm definitely saying below 3,400. I just don't know where the bottom will actually be. Man, they're toying with a breakdown here. Where's all my lines? All my lines are gone. All right, big rejection off R2 coming on down again. The sellers are still very much here. More chop. That's all this is more chop. Don't trust anything. Just cut my profits in half on these calls, on these runners. So in a couple of minutes here, if this continues to fall here, what I'm going to do is close out everything and just start with a clean slate and kind of wait for the afternoon. I'm already up on the day. Things are nice. But I just don't want to sit here and fight chop and calculate chop. I don't think you can paper trade on TradingView. I don't know. Big sell-off. So we'll probably come back down to S1 or so. Man, that's a huge rejection. Sellers are still here. We are not going to rally as long as we have that action. So we need the sellers to kind of do their thing, take these positions, and then we'll wait for the afternoon. 36.90, 36.85. We got 36.70 way on down. VIX is down here at 31.61. That's right down the exact bottom of their level right there. So keep an eye on the VIX here. Big sell. Man, this is getting hammered. Just under 36.90. Down filling aggressively. The selling volume is increasing. Coming down to S1. So careful here. Below here, I'm going to look to pretty much close everything I've got. Look at that volume. The volume's increasing here. I remember when the VIX is 16, the good old days. I like this, man. I've made more money the past couple of weeks than I think ever before. It's insane. I like this type of volatility. We just got to learn to play it. We got to know how to play it. See, the algo's kicked on, sold this off. 1, 2, 3. Big candle with no wicks. Still down filling. The selling volume's increasing. Coming on down to 36.85 again. So we're right back inside R1, S1. This is chop. The same old crap we've seen since May 27th. Shouldn't be surprised here. You shouldn't be surprised here. All right, they just put on 3680. Nice, Bob. Well done. Teach me how to play this game. Well, come join us. We'll teach you how to do it. Teach you how to do it. That is a solid supply zone. Yeah, that is. The supply zones are incredibly strong today, and when you're in a bear market, the supply zones are going to be strong. That's why if you go back and look at the pre-market stuff, every time we hit a supply zone, there was an aggressive sell. Every time. I mean, look at these freaking sell-offs. Bam, bam. Now that one. Now that one. I mean, it's just you hit it, and you got like 5, 6 red candles in a row that just smoke, and that's just indicative of very large sell orders being placed on the upward trajectory. And until those go away, we're not going to climb. More chop. Don't expect anything different than what we've been seeing the past couple of weeks until the afternoon. Then we'll look to see how this thing's going to react. What's up, patient? How you doing, buddy? Oh, they flipped that candle. Gah. All right, I'm about to close out these runners for 9%. Anything below here, I'm closing. Why take a swing position and pay theta overnight and not just enter first thing in the morning? Well, that's potentially. I mean, that's definitely a way to go, especially in this market here. I was expecting a gap up at the open, but they did bring us down a lot more than anticipated. When I say the flat trade, because majority of the time, I would say 90% of the time, the market moves to flat. So you get a big move whether up or down in pre-market, and then I would say about an hour to hour and 15 before the market opens, they start making a move to bring it back to flat, because that's how you screw over the most amount of people. That's how they make money. Opening the market flat screws over the most amount of people. The bears and the bulls, everybody, except for those riding theta, which is great. So, however, it's not necessarily flat back to the prior day's close. It's not like if we're up 3%, they're going to bring us back down to even 0%. It's basically, I look at it as they bring us back to the flat of the average price action of the afternoon. So if like we pop and then somewhere around 2 o'clock in the morning we start a consolidation zone and then we pop again, we'll bring us back down to that consolidation zone. And that's exactly what they did this morning. I didn't expect this much of a sell-off, but because everything was relatively bullish, relatively upwards going into the bell, I didn't expect a straight just algo sell-off, but that's what they did. We're still up on the day. I mean, heck, we had 50% on the call, but it is what it is. You find futures too stressful. You have to. I play futures differently than I play calls or play options. You know, futures I scalp over and over and over again, very quickly, ins and outs. The best way for me to play futures is if I can catch the beginning of a large move and put one on and just forget about it, then I don't care about the up and down movement because theta is not a factor. The whole hard part, if I can finally be fortunate enough to get into position on the futures right before a move, like I am now, Nasdaq, I'm up 260 points on Nasdaq per contract. So I've got room to let this thing breathe. But yeah, the hard part's finding the entry. But theta is not a factor with futures, so you can let those things do it. Man, they're going to bring this thing all the way back down. More chop. So we got this 36.85 level. They've pretty much removed all this crap up top. They removed everything way on down. And we're pinned right here at 36.88. More chop is theta. Yep. Theta. Expect nothing today. I've got my thesis, but I also know I could be wrong, just like I was wrong on FOMC. The pain trade. If the bid's higher than the ask, then there's probably something going on with the where they get the data. So that's not accurate. Big sell fest, closing out calls right here. If I can get a fill. All right, out of those, fill of 2780 on the remaining runners. Pretty much break even. No, not right now. XLE is a little too crazy. What do you usually do as a max percentage stop at a normal position? It depends. It depends on the price action. It depends on the DTE that I'm playing. We're just kind of hanging out here. 50% is too large. I'm not going to set, even on a 0 DTE, 50% is too much. It's too big of a loss. So I'm looking to usually do a zero. The largest I'll let a zero go is probably about 30%, and that's if I'm pretty confident. So the only positions I've got left now are the Apple calls and the XLF calls, but those are part of a strangle. They're pretty much worthless. I'm just holding them to see if we can get something out of them. If we get a big rally, I thought maybe we can have a little pump right there, but even if we do get a rally late in the day, the theta will have destroyed these positions so much we'd have to have a very substantial buy up to make these profitable, at which point I don't think is going to happen. So right now, pretty much no positions except for the NASDAQ longs, and they are getting smoked at the moment. But we'll see. There's no theta on the futures, obviously. Yeah, 25 to 30% is a good place for zeros. I like to watch the 9 EMA on the 5 minute and 1 minute to trade. I use the 8 EMA, which is pretty much the same as the 9. There's virtually the same. I trade on the 3 minute, not on the 1. I also look at the 5 though. Would theta eat away a 7 DTE as well? Yeah, they would. I mean, theta is going to eat any option. It's just the rate of theta is going to be a lot more aggressive for a short dated call or short dated position than a long dated. That's why you take long dated. So I think average we got about 30% on that play, give or take, which was great. I just kind of sucks, But green is green. 36.91, we've got 36.85, 36.80. And look at these sell-offs we've had. Major sell-offs. Let's take a look around the market, see what's going on. Apple, very green. Microsoft, Amazon is way high. Look at that. Google about to pop. Maybe Google's up. Google goes up. Johnson & Johnson's kind of selling off here. XLK, XLF. And energy's still getting pounded. Look at that. Oil is getting destroyed. Coming off big time. And we're just chopping. What's the risk of zeros? Theta. I mean, theta is your biggest enemy on a 0 DT position. Yeah, the XLE put. Yep. It would have been beautiful. I didn't see it. Rarely, I'll take some CL futures. Rarely, not often. So on the 3 minute, we're about to face 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red candles in a row, all the way back down on S1. What is CL? CL is oil. Yeah, the option chain's messed up. Yeah, there's a little bit of a glitch going on right now with the brokers. A lot of weakness here. Careful. Careful. How do I compare the impact of options players versus stock traders? It's a balance. You have to. It's like how do I compare the impact of options players versus stocks versus everything else? It's a balance. You have to see which one is shining at the time. God, they're coming all the way back down with this. Look at this. Look at this. I'm about to short ES. Let's see, ES June, September. They're going to chop us and then they're going to rally us. Let's see, futures, short. I should have shorted way earlier than that, but big red candle. Oh, yeah. I'm sitting there talking, but I'm muted. All right, I'm good. Can you talk about trading psychology, how to get over selling quickly, smaller profit versus sticking to the plan? How I really manage, look, they're going to bring all the way down. Look at that. Booyah. The way I manage my psychology is telling myself that there's a 50-50 chance I'm wrong at all times. So I'm not just like everyone was calling me like a pessimist. Like I'm not a pessimist. I just know the market does not do what you want it to do. If it was that easy, everybody would raise it. Like this is not 2020 where you just take calls and enjoy your profit. Man, I'm already up big time on these ES shorts. So it's all about understanding that there's a 50-50 chance I am wrong. So, look at this. They killed that. Glad I closed out the calls. So 365.74 all the way back down to S2. If they put in a new low of the day, watch out. If they take out 36.70, watch out. VIX is spiking all the way back down. Watch out for 36.70. Then we got 36.65. The selling algorithms are killing this thing. I mean, this is like the 6th time they've hit it. So there is no in a bull market, you get the big sells and then the occasional sell off. But in a bear market like this, every single green is destroyed. So coming on down. All right, I'm about to start closing out some ES shorts here. Right now, I'm not really playing all that much except for futures every now and then. We'll see if we get some good high confidence plays down to S2 here. And a bounce right off S2. I have a Q call open in the money, trying to close it, and it won't let me see any price. But yeah, it's a glitch. So take screenshots, multiple screenshots, and document that stuff. Your broker probably won't do anything about it because they're all jabronis. But yeah, it's broken. So take screenshots. It's going on with a lot of different brokers right now. It's a glitch. All right, so bounce right off S2. There's not really any liquidity above 36.70, and they've taken off everything above, so this looks like a chop day. Chop until further notice. Yeah, potential double bottom. Bulletin received. Do you have the YouTube video about how do you enter positions? I do. I've got a lot of videos on kind of my strategy and my system that would pretty much to explain that, but that's a pretty broad subject. It's kind of situational dependent. So, all right. So we're about to breach today's lows. Careful now. Right at S2. NASDAQ has a long way to go to get down to the day's lows. It could bring us even lower. What's Europe doing? Let's take a look. Europe's selling off as well. Not doing good. German market's getting killed. They were up substantially. Look at this. Look at this sell-off. Straight attack, algo attack, killing it. Yeah, the brokers, they're all going crazy at the moment. This could be attributing to this. So when all the brokers come back online, we could bounce. That could be part of the issue here. All right, I'm closing my ES shorts here. Bam. Killer play on ES shorts. Let's see where we go from here. I'll jump back in if we continue to fall. Yeah, y'all chill out. Here, hold on. This might be what causing that. So when those brokers come online, we might bounce. So just be careful. This is some pretty heavy stuff. We just went from high of the day to low of the day. They just smoked 36.86, 36.66. Now we got 36.57 on deck. I closed out my ES shorts. I'm going to look to re-enter right now if we break down. Straight red candles. Nothing. All right, y'all chill. We're gumming up the chat now. Interesting new tactic, yeah. Man, they're killing this thing. Look at this. $5 sell-off. If we go under here, we're going to 36.50. The whole market right now is terrible. So I'm telling you, this is probably why we're selling here, is because the whole market's busted at the moment. God, this is killer. They're destroying this market. Look at that sell-off. All right, we're down 50 points already and still falling. There's no wicks on these candles. We're falling. Should have held my shorts. All right, if the options channel comes back online, we may get a bounce here. But coming down to yesterday's lows, S3, straight sell-off. That was aggressive. That was a huge algo attack right there. Coming down to 36.60, we got 36.50 as well. I'm not playing options at the moment because of the whole options chain thing, so I'm just shorting futures against my NASDAQ longs. They just put on 36.75. Man, straight red. Not one single green candle ever since that first green candle of the day this morning. VIX is now 32.58. Watch out if VIX breaks 32.81 right here. Watch out now. Watch that. We're above S3 at the moment. Under S2, above S3. That was a smoke show right there. Well, we'll see. That was a big gap up on the VIX, but that was a big sell-off. We'll see how this responds now that things are starting to apparently come back online. Yeah, my chain is busted too. It's not working well as well. They're frozen. My option chain's frozen. Yeah, this has happened before. This has happened before. It happens. It comes from the data feeds, and when it's multiple brokers, it's coming from the data, like CBOE. It's coming from the data source. So when that comes back online, we'll probably bounce. They just put on a large level 3665. Oh, nice, Stashimo. All right, so the right here will determine whether or not we trend down, or is this a chop day? Is this about to become GME for SPY? Watch it. This is the day they limit us down. They go limit down because of that. They close the retail and then limit down. So they just spoofed 3665. They put it on, took it off. Gah. Smoke that green candle. Watch out for S3. Straight red. Straight red. Can I even put on a put? I don't even know if I can put on a put right now. The premiums are pretty much frozen. 36.55. Yep, it's CBOE. It's not the individual's exchange. It's the CBOE. I can't even get a fill on puts, so I can't get a fill on options right now. E-Trade still ain't looking normal. I've got, on these 36.55 puts, I've got a bid of $13 and an ask of $18, and they're frozen. If they don't turn the option chain back on, they'll sell this off. They'll continue to drop this. If they don't fix this, this will continue. There's no resistance right now. Their markets are locked, so they're just going to sell this off. $36.60, $36.57. Yeah, I can't even get a fill on puts. I can't even trade. Like I can't even get a fill. All I can do is try options. I haven't tried. I need to try to see if I can do futures. Let's see. Copy ES short. If we bust through 36.60, it's going to be bad. All right, I put y'all on a 5 second delay on the Discord, so y'all are going nuts. Chill it out a little bit. All right, yeah, I can get filled on futures, so we're good to go there. Can get filled on futures. We'll see if we break. If we break S3, we'll go down to 36.40. If we break 36.40, we'll probably retest yesterday's lows. If we break yesterday's lows, then we'll go down to that 35.75 level that they started putting on a pre-market. VIX is at the day's highs. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. They removed a lot of that 3660 right now, or they absorbed it. So they didn't remove it. We absorbed it. $364.68 right over S3. That was a brutal. So we had a strong bounce. We put in a new high of the day. At least NASDAQ did. SPY did not. Aggressive sell-off down to S3. And now we're here reholding, which is also yesterday's lows on SPY. If we take out yesterday's lows here, it's going to be aggressive. So aggressive. I would not be surprised to see a big move down with that action, with that retail thing. So we'll see. Big down candle here to S3. Straight sell-off. Watch S3 here. I'll try to see if I can enter puts again. I tried earlier and I couldn't get. They won't even accept a fill, so I'll see if I can do it again. I do have S6 and 7 calculated. I also have R7 and R6 and 7 calculated, so we'll see what happens. R3 is strong, yes. Or I'm sorry, S3 is strong. Look at that 3-minute chart. There is nothing except red since. This is a 40-minute sustained attack. So under S3 coming down. Still short futures. Coming on down. Oh man, look at that sell. Gah. Still riding futures down. Now through S3, going to S4. That's a 60-point sell-off on ES. They have now flipped the market from plus 1% green to down 0.77. So this is a 2% move almost. Coming down 363.73. Wow.
Bulletin received.
Yeah, I know, bulletin received. I wish I could take puts, but I can't even jump into puts here. So all I got is ES. I'm glad I closed those dang calls. Holy crap. All right, so we're now down 2%. We're 2% off pre-market highs. So we were up plus 1, now we're down 0.5, or almost 2%. So we're about 0.25, 0.1, 0.25. So 363, we're now through S4. How come S5 is not on there? Where's S5? Did I not post an S5? I doubt your broker will do everything about it, but just take screenshots. But I doubt it. Yeah, 351.91. So why isn't that on there? 361.91. That's why. It's 361.91. God, they just smoked this thing. This is unbelievable to me. Still riding the shorts. There we go. And save. God, look at this. This is brutal, people. This is brutal. I can't even take puts on this. I have to sit here and watch this. Wow. Thank God I shorted that thing. Holy crap, it's still falling. Look at this. All right, I'm going to set a break-even stop on my NASDAQ for yesterday's break-even. After being up almost 200 and something points, so I'm now about to break even on my NASDAQ. I can't. It won't let me. I can't get a fill on puts. I've been trying to take puts since S2. I can't get a fill. So NASDAQ just broke pre-market lows. ES is now at yesterday's lows. If we take out yesterday's lows, people, it's going to be very bad. Or very good for my ES shorts, but bad for the markets. This is brutal. Yeah, buy calls for the afternoon bounce. Exactly. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't call out any plays. I've been trying to get into puts since S2. I can't get in there. They are starting to build into a lot of liquidity below us. So they've got a here 11,075 on NASDAQ. Excited about that 3,500 put buying opportunity. I was hoping to go up today so I could start looking at some long-dated puts. But obviously this just destroyed everybody. They took advantage of that options chain to sell this off. All right, closed out my ES shorts. Now we'll see if we can get this up. I got 36.61 to 36.47, so I got almost 40 points there, 50 points on ES. At this point, I just want to get out of everything and just be like, you know what? I'm done for today. It's like, come on, I can't even buy puts here. Nope, I doubt the broker will help you. Like I said, still take screenshots, but I don't think they're going to help. So they'll have to pay everybody if that's the case. And every time I call the broker to do something, they're like, "Sorry, we can't help you. We can't refund that for that reason. We can't, even though it was their fault." Trust me, with E-Trade, I've lost a ton of money just because of their mistakes. Their broker issues, and they don't do nothing. They've never once done anything. Yeah, I can't even get I can't even get a fill. I just tried to put it in 7 orders for SPX puts. Couldn't get a fill on any of them. All right, so XLK all the way back down. Everything is in sell-off mode. Complete reversal. XLE is down. XLRE. XLP has got a little bit of bounce. Would you take calls if you could right now? No. I mean, even besides the broker issues, every green spike in pre-market was met with aggressive selling. And then the buyers would come in and trickle us a little bit higher, and then they would dump it. Trickle us a little bit higher, and then they would dump it. So the sellers are still very much here. Even with the broker issues, I'm not surprised to see a sell-off. This was a little aggressive, yeah, sure. But this is still a bear market. This is still seller's action. And, we're just as likely to go to 37.50 as we are as 35.70. Doesn't matter. Cow's opinion. Down to S4. All right, can I take puts now? They've got a heavy level at 36.35. Yeah, I mean, take screenshots and email them. I mean, that's all I can tell you, but I wouldn't expect much. I just don't want you to get your expectations up. So, all right, they've got 36.60. We've got crap lower. At this point, I'm looking to find an exit from my NASDAQ, close everything out, and just take my hands off. I honestly don't want to trade this stuff right now with the broker issues going on. It's just there's a lot of unpredictability when you got that crap going. When all of retail cannot trade accurately, it brings in some wonky price action. So, even with this massive sell-off, what tells you that we're still going to end the day squeezing? I don't. I'm looking for that because it's OPEX, but it doesn't change my thesis. I mean, on OPEX stuff, it's just aggressive price action. That's the big picture here, is aggressive price action. And that is precisely what we're seeing, very aggressive price action. And when the VIX is over 30, when the VIX is this high, it amplifies it even more. So we've got an incredibly high VIX going into an incredibly volatile event. It is what it is. Yeah, XLE's in the 70s. My friend bought a call for a ticker 1.5, tried to sell 1.6. Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, the broker issues are bad. I'm not buying any long-term stocks right now. I'm not buying any long-term stocks until we're under 3,400 on SPX. Well, I'm just grateful they waited to dump this until after we closed our swing calls. So, all right, we're down to S4. I've got S6. I've got S7 calculated. And we are down. Took a pick of the market, recognizes barcode, tried to tie one. Oh, yeah. It recognizes the barcode. That's funny. So red, green, right on S4. Why is VIX so relative low to the massive downside we've been seeing? Hedge. The market is hedged. So the VIX is the fear index. Until we see big money start to hedge for additional downside, we're not going to have the VIX spike, and that's the issue. I mean, we are incredibly under VIX, and until the VIX goes to 45, we won't bottom out. That's exactly why I said I don't know how far we're going to fall. I won't know where the bottom is until we start to hit the VIX at 45. If that starts when we're at 3,300, we'll go to 2,900. If it starts now, then we'll probably go to 3,100, 3,000. So, and here's the thing, Mohammed just made a comment on the YouTube here that everyone's expecting just to go back to pre-corona highs. And that's where I'm going to start buying long-term stocks because I'm not trying to time the bottom. But we very easily could go well beyond pre-corona highs. We could go to pre-corona lows. We don't know. We don't know the full breadth of the destruction that we're seeing in the markets. Go back and look in 2008. We wiped out how much of the market? We went down to what, 8,000? So you don't understand how far this market can fall. Everyone thought that the Dow couldn't fall as much as it did in 2008, and it did. It did. So all I'm saying, don't underestimate how far they could fall. Just like everyone and their mom underestimated how far it could go in 2020 and 2021, do not underestimate how far it can fall. There's no such thing as too high. There's no such thing as too low. Wow, what a day. I managed to get Phil on a put, but it's all over the place. Like, it's literally the bid on the put right now is 19. The ask is 24.60. I don't even know what to believe. I don't know what to believe. So I don't know if I need to restart my broker or not, but the position is jumping back and forth between -5 and +30. Coming down, so we wiped out 36.40. Now we've got all the way down at 36.06. Hold on, I'm gonna restart my broker here. Close. Launch. Man, it's so nice having an extra monitor now. All right. So the 36.40 puts I got to fill at $18.41 is my net cost basis. So I'm barely up on them. Yep, new lows. So they put in SPY broke yesterday's lows, came down to S5. Look at that sell-off from 37.11 to 37.39. So that was an aggressive move. Here's the book map liquidity. Right there. All right, you are a distraction. See ya. All right, so we're just kind of hanging out here on S4, under S4 through S5. Yep. Yeah. I just closed it. I'm out of it. But it was wonky. So, all right, so I think everything is good to go now. I restarted my broker. I am going to bring up 3630 puts for today, for this afternoon contracts, just to see where this thing is going. I'm very skeptical of pretty much everything at the moment. I do think the broken broker exacerbated the situation, but then again, I mean, you have to think this is OPEX. This is extreme volatility. Yeah, so XLE is absolutely getting smoked. That's an insane drop. I was looking for that play, and I completely missed it. I was so caught up in everything else, I missed the oil. So oil has absolutely dropped from 116 to 108. They're down 7%, getting killed. We are consolidating right here between S4 and S5. VIX is up here at 33.5, 3307. Yeah, if you took some XLE puts well down, that thing's going to pay off huge. Up 11% on the portfolio. Nice tango. Well done. $363.24. So I had some great future scalps on the way down. I scalped a little bit. I think I got, what, 8% on that weird SPX put. I tried 8 times to get into a put on the way down. I couldn't get a fill. So that's why I just went over to the futures and I just scalped ES futures. I'm not calling any plays. I wasn't calling any plays in that crap because it's broker issues. That's a recipe for disaster. But now I think everything is good to go. My bid and ask is about normal. It's 20-cent spread. I think we're good to go again. Keep whistling. My bad. Yeah, take a breath. Everyone chill out. I think the broker stuff is done, so I think I think I could take the slow mode off of the Discord here. We'll chill out a little bit, shake your arms out, and play what you see. Trust me, I am thankful. I don't care about this. I am thankful that they did not dump this until after we closed our swing calls. Like we got that big, nice little green rally. We closed like most of it for like 48%, and then they dumped it. So cool. I don't care what happens then. I'm out. So Scarlett says, let's go calls. I like it. I like it. Do you think we see a rally today with the OR expiring? I am looking for it, but I'm not going to play to it unless I see it. It's one of those days where I am skeptical of everything. This is prime time to smoke your account. VIX over 30 and OPEX plus quad witching. Until I can see the bulls put together 2 or 3 candles, I'm skeptical of anything. Super small position size. Super small position sizes. Take your profits. I would rather be late to a, all the cliche stuff that we talk about. Late to a reversal than early to a trend. We can just as easily go to 35.50 today as we can 37.50. If we join the Discord without paying for your Patreon, can we still learn the basics? We do have some open channels. They don't really get used all that much anymore. Everybody who is in there is pretty much signed up. But you're welcome to come in there. I can answer questions as much as I can without, giving away stuff that the people pay for. ES is down 50. NASDAQ is up 0.1. And we're holding down to S4 barcoding. So now that I've got a new monitor set up, I think going forward that the Tuesdays and Thursdays Discord exclusive stream will now have video, because now I can manage that with hands off. I've got my whole screen set up here. I don't even have to worry about minimizing and maximizing and all that kind of stuff. It's not my final form yet. This isn't even my final form yet, because when I went to go mount the monitor arms, they weren't tall enough to put the monitors over the 49-inch. So I had to improvise. So I'm gonna have to build a little contraption to raise it up. So until then, I just took one of the 34-inch monitors. I turned it upside long ways, like hot dog wise on the side, and made it long ways up and down to the right until I could. This weekend I'll build a little contraption, and that'll be my final form. Yeah. Monitor set up to the bingo boards. I like it. Yeah, the video stream will be with YouTube. I'll just make it a private where only the Discorders can see it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Once I get the cable management situation under control, I'll send y'all a picture. Right now, I was up at like early this morning getting all this stuff set up because the monitor arms came late last night. Yeah, and that's a good point, Saul. If you're too far zoomed in on these candles, the candles look huge, and it does mess with you. I know it sounds silly, but scale your charts appropriately. Don't make a 20-cent move on SPY look like a gigantic sell-off. I think that's why some of y'all use a little too crazy adjectives sometimes. SPY is tanking. It's down 20 cents. So scale your charts appropriately. All right, so that's another rejection of S4. We wiped out 36.46, and the sellers are still in the driver's seat until 36.40. Then after that, we'll re-evaluate. There's no bounce whatsoever. There's no strength. It's all weakness. So 36, I'm going to look at 36.30s for now. If we break lower, I'll take those. If we bounce up, I'll probably look at 36.60s. So, SPY is recessioning. I love it. Well, Trader Jay, we tried, didn't we? We tried to get up there, but I gave it the old Charlie hustle. If we start breaching S5, C-Texas, I'll post them. I just don't want to do that yet until we need them. All right, so a little green there up to S3. I like it. Lerek called the Shrek. All right. So we absorbed 36.60, and now we're going. The only thing I'm holding at the moment, I've got 3 positions open at the moment. I've got my Apple and XLF calls from the strangle. They're pretty much dead in the water. And I've got my long NQ. That's it. I'm playing zeros for now. That does not mean you have to play zeros. I am very confident in my system and my abilities, so I trade zeros. You do not have to trade zeros. You could trade anything else. You could trade ones. You could trade 3s, whatever. You could trade anything now that SPX has an expiration every day. You could trade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Got a little bounce-a-roni. My NASDAQ longs are coming back to life. Let's see what happens. I want y'all to remember this day. Next time we take a swing position and it's heavily in our favor and everyone's like, "Oh, this is amazing." I want you to remember this. You use this as a learning experience. With this was beneficial because we got to feel the pain of the sell-off, and yet we still were able to sell for 50% profit. So it can go very badly. I could be up heavily and then close down heavily by the time it opens. So there's a lot of good questions on YouTube chat. Let me see. What do we got? What time is Euro close? 11:30 Eastern time. B Bond. Brandon, what do you say? There's Discord, which I don't understand. There's Bookmap. There's so much stuff. Well, I can relate, Brandon. I had no idea what Discord was. So I was operating a Discord while learning how to use it at the same time. So I get it. It's very, very cumbersome. It's not all that organized. So the Discord is where we chat. That's where we hang out and chat, converse, learn, have fun, post memes, ban people for being distracting, all that kind of thing. Bookmap is a tool. Bookmap is what you see on the left side of the YouTube screen here. That is going to be the heat map where we post liquidity. You don't need this. This is just something I use because it helps me exit trades. It's good stuff. So the Discord is good stuff. So if you go down and look, actually no, for some reason that changed. I need to change that again. Stand by. I will change that right now. All right. So if you look in the description of the video, if you hit refresh, you might have to hit refresh. But I put the website there in place of Patreon because I want you to join the website instead of Patreon. But yeah, click on the link, theoptionsmillionaire.com. That'll bring you to the website. You link your Discord by hitting login, and then you join whichever tier you intend to join, and that'll log you in. Then when you go over the Discord, you'll automatically be assigned the roles you need. So, all right, so we got a little bit of green through S3. Watch out for 3670. There's a little liquidity there. They're starting to build 3670. Hey, good news for my real estate people. I got the call last night. My development perked for all the sites that we wanted. So good news. Now onward to the next is surveying and land clearing. I'll be documenting this experience, by the way, so if you want to have a little, if you want to learn how to develop land with me, then follow along on YouTube when that starts popping up. When you say 3670, do you mean there will be resistance at that level? That level, we're pinging up against it right now. I'm looking for some absorption to go through that level, and we could pop down and fall through it. Anywhere from 4 to 7 right now, AJ. Or no, who said that? I'm Oak Nugget. 4 to 7. I'm a civil engineer with land development as my thing. Nice, AT Pottery Barn. That's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I want to teach y'all everything I know in addition to just trading. So if you want to do real estate, rental properties, 401k or TSP management, I was pretty well versed on TSP management. So, hey, my Nasdaq longs are doing pretty well right now. Awesome, awesome. Let's see how high this can go. All right, so we ate up 3670. Now we're going to 3680 and 3685. Yeah, I'd love to have a talk with AT Bot or anyone else too. If you want to have a real estate discussion, we need to talk about some real estate. Crowdfunding for real estate? You talk about like we open our own REIT, like an OM REIT. I'd love that. You know, Lee Rat, there's always another opportunity, bud. There's always another opportunity. Watch this become like one of the most successful like one of the most successful REITs in history, and like this is where it started. Like 10 years from now, there'll be a book written. The OM REIT. In 2022, after GameStop, a Discord was formed. I get to do the audiobook though. I'll vocalize the audiobook. I love it. I purchased my first 3 rentals this last year, and the appreciation on the properties. Oh man, yeah. You should call yourself BlackRock. That's exactly what they did. The next, oh yeah, Vampire said it. Yeah. Do a reader, I quit. Y'all are awesome. Y'all make my day better. I've read that to my kids. I love it. All right, Vic's coming off here, and watch over 3680. Yeah, literally, I've got my little GoPro set up. I'm literally going to, like, from the first day that we close on the property, I'm going to pull up and, like, we're going to have the GoPro and we're going to document everything. Right now, the property is incredibly overgrown. Incredibly. There's an old 1960s house on it that we're going to have to destroy, take it down. There's barns on it that I need to refurbish. I'm going to make, like, kind of centerpieces of the property. I'm going to call it something farms, you know, something cheesy. And then we're going to develop the property. So we'll do the whole process. Nice, Alex. 250%. To add to that bookmap discussion, what is the window that you can expand with? Yeah, this is bookmap right here. So this is bookmap. It depends who you ask, Turbo. Mrs. OM wants it to be our forever home. I want it to be I want to develop it and sell it. So right now we're prepping everything for land development. But you know how the misses are. They always usually win that one. They always win. Yeah, right now we can sell property for $60,000 an acre. This is like our area is getting $60,000 to $65,000 an acre for developed property. And we got this property for $25,000 an acre because it used to be an old cattle farm, and 20 years ago the people took their hands off of it and just let it overgrow. So now it's 20 years overgrown, and nobody wants to deal with it. So I found a company that'll come in and clear it, do some forestry clearing. They're going to clear it, and you know, even without developing, we should be able to get a appreciation on that. That's why I bought it, because it was $25,000 an acre is incredibly cheap. So, hi OM, should I get a Heloc to purchase my first rental property? Right now would be tough with interest rates the way they are. However, it depends on how much equity you have in your home. If you've got a crap ton of equity in your home, I definitely would want to use that. I mean, that's how people get rich, is that they use their equity, they use their current assets to use that to leverage into other income producing assets. 50 acres, John Doe. So you have to leverage that. So if you've got property, I mean, if you've got a house that's got a lot of equity in it, I do recommend doing some sort of HELOC. I would recommend a HELOC because it's incredibly liquid, and you don't even have to use it, and then use that to procure income producing assets, or even an income producing liability, which a HELOC is. Lots of free fertilizer. I love it. I alert in the day trade section, so you'll see it right here. All right, so we're kind of bouncing off here of the 3667 area. Didn't eat through that area. I'm kind of just coming on down. I am in the southeast United States. If you've ever ordered anything from the store, you then you know my P.O. box address. But how do you do a HELOC for equity? So let's say you own a $500,000 home and you've got $200,000 in equity in it. So you owe $300, you've got $200 in equity. The HELOC gives you 75%. They'll go up to 75% of your equity. So they'll take your $200,000 of equity, they'll take 75% of that, and they'll give you a line of credit called a HELOC, home equity line of credit. They'll give you a HELOC for that amount. What is that? 150? 75% of 200,000 is 150. So they'll take 150,000 and they'll give you a line of credit for 150,000, and it's just as liquid as your checking account. Literally, you could take money out and in just as liquid as your checking account, and you don't even have to use it. So you'll have a $150,000 line of credit in an account, and you can use it or you don't. If you do take it out, you only pay back the interest on it until you're ready to pay back the principal, but you'll continue to pay monthly payments on just interest until you pay it off, and it's usually for 5 to 7 years. It's a great way to get equity out of your home to use for other stuff. The problem is people use home equity line of credits to buy stupid stuff like boats or pools or trips, which is idiotic in my opinion. Do you know of any institution that'll do a HELOC without good credit? No, I don't. Yeah, it's margin for a house. Yep. And you can write off the interest. Yeah. One of the problems with the housing market in the past 2 years is that people did just that. Everybody and their mother had huge appreciation on their homes. So what do you think happened? They all went to do HELOCs and cash out refinances or second mortgages to take the equity out of their home, and they went and had fun with it. So they bought boats. They bought club memberships at golf courses. They bought cars. They over leveraged themselves, and now they're going to be underwater in 2 years when they have home appreciations drop back down, and they owe money on all that fun stuff. And now they get double appreciation. They'll have appreciation on their home, and they'll have a depreciation on the asset that they purchased with their HELOC. And that's how poor people stay poor. And that is where I diverge from Dave Ramsey's beliefs. I'm a big believer of Dave Ramsey's concepts, but that's where I decouple myself from him. Is that he thinks no liabilities, no debt whatsoever. I think it's good to have some debt as long as you're using that debt to procure income producing assets, because that is how people get rich. Anyway, back to the charts. My supervisor built a pool with that money. Yeah, that's idiotic. You have $500K in equity and I can't access it. Man, what, because of credit? Usually it's a little bit higher than your normal home interest rates. So if I upgrade a tier 2 for $100 or 75, I have So if you do, that's the one thing we have to figure out with the website still. So if that's something you want to do, contact Mrs. OM. She'll get you taken care of. Yes, and that's the thing about that's where Dave Ramsey really shines. He shines for people that are completely financial illiterate, people who just don't know any better or don't have discipline. Yes, you need to follow Dave Ramsey and don't do any debt. But as the more you learn about financial and you become more and more literate with finance, and the more discipline you have, then yes, you can start to decouple yourself away from just the no debt stuff. All right, so we're chopping here on S2, trying to make a move back up. We'll see if we can get back to R2. I am being hit with a pretty bad storm right now, so there is a possibility I could lose power, I suppose. So if that happens, I'll text on my phone, I guess. So I do not have a backup generator, but it's yeah, it's pretty bad. Are you my neighbor? Maybe. There was a guy that lived literally like 200 yards from me in the Discord when we first started. He kind of picked up on everything I was saying. He's like, hey, and he DM'd me. He's like, do you live here? It's like, yeah. He's like, where do you live? And I told him, he's like, dude, I live like 200 yards from you. And then he left the server. I've never met him, so I don't know. I don't know who he is. Sam says, I know what state you're in. Yeah. So, yeah, honestly, I don't really care if people find out what state I'm in because I'm protected. You know, most of my assets are not in my name or they're in my LLC's name, so it's not really that big of a deal. But I think right now I just think it's fun. All right, so we got a little green through S2. Yeah, that's not my LLC. Trust me, I have a lot of holdings in that LLC. It's not that one. I'm a professor. You should not pay for grad school. You should find a program that will pay you. I think that's a fantastic idea. Yeah. Thoughts on taking out loans for grad school? Negative. Negative. I think student loan debt is incredibly, incredibly crippling. I have a buddy that financed his entire college experience. I don't mean just tuition. I mean he financed everything. He financed his lodging, he financed his food, he financed his lifestyle, he financed his tuition, he financed his books, and he accumulated more than $100,000 in debt, and that was 15 years ago, and he's still paying it off. So I have a love-hate relationship with college degrees. I think they are great. I think they are overestimated, and I think people do that stuff. They go to college for stupid reasons, like going to follow their passion. It's like, yeah, well, go enjoy working at McDonald's with your $100,000 degree. I think you should get a basic general business degree, unless you are going for something specialized like medicine or engineering or stuff like that that requires a specialized degree that actually pays money. But if it wasn't for a degree, I would not be a pilot. So, because officers, you have to have a degree. Yeah, there you go, Trader J. I worked my way. I worked 40 hours a week at Verizon selling cell phones in college to pay for my degree. I took 5 classes a semester. I worked out 2 hours a day. I was 248 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. And I still worked 40 hours a week at Verizon. I've got some old pictures of me in college. I was a beast. I'm not a beast anymore. Right now, my body type is described as guy who used to work out who still loves tacos. Yeah, it's my degree, Stashimo. Yeah, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in accounting. I'm 6 foot in blue. Yeah, I could do pull-ups with the best of them, but Lee Rat would smoke me in burpees. I worked at Verizon for 5 years to pay cash for my home and start my business. Nice, Mark. Awesome stuff. You can make some good money back in the day, man, selling cell phones. For a college kid, I was making a killing at selling cell phones. All right, so we got up to S1. We are through the 50 simple moving average, and we're hanging out here, seeing where we're going to move. Is it already 10:30? Yeah, European close. It comes up here. They're starting to shift liquidity a little higher. We've got 36.85, 36.70, going up and up and up. Trying to approach back. We're right back almost to the open here. We opened up at 365.46, so we're pretty much right at the open. Actually, we are. We're a little bit above the open. This looks like a cosine. Or is it a sine? I don't know. Sine curve. One of those. I think cosine was up. Wasn't cosine up? Sine is down. Sine wave. There you go. VIX put in a new low the day before. Little bottom wick. And top wick here it is one. They look the same, just shifted. Yep, that's true. I do use the iceberg indicator on Bookmap. I can't get it to work right now, so I'm still talking to Bruce at Bookmap to try to get it fixed. I just can't get it to work. I've tried everything, reinstalling, reconfiguring, shutting off the connection, turning it back on. I've tried everything. Turn 2 red trades into green today. Nice. Weekly increase to about the size of 11%. Nice, Rex Fox. Awesome stuff. I met a Marine at Home Depot the other day. He was jacked out of his mind. He's like 60. Yeah. Those dudes are beasts, man. Yeah, you got to use your, you could track your trades all day long, but you got to follow your notes. You got to follow. All right, another rejection here at S1. From 366.80 down to 355.20. So that's a $1.60 move right there. These are some big candles. 36.75 right now. Let's see where we go from here. More chop. Don't expect anything but chop until late this afternoon. I am looking for it, Mark. I'm still thinking that we do pop here, but when you get a 60 to 70 point sell-off, nothing's off the table. I'm cautiously looking for upside this afternoon. Cautiously. But right now, we are right back to break even on the day. Right here. Now backbound below it. 20-point sell-offs and rejections. I mean, strong candles. Just joined the group. Excited to learn and grow my account. Nice. Welcome, welcome. Let's flip it from red to green. All right. Let's take a look at some puts here. $36.60s are going for now. What are they going for now? $17.80. OPEX, baby. Big volatility on OPEX. So from 36.87 all the way down to 36.68, that's a 20-point sell-off on ES. We're hanging out. Do you think it's a bad idea to pick up some calls? Well, right now, if you take a position, you're playing in the middle. So I don't know where this thing's going. I'll tell you one thing. I guarantee you, by the close of the day today, we're either going under 3,600 or over 3,700. I just don't know which one. Maybe before the move is made, take a strangle. But we're closing under one of those. Why not both? Yeah. But wait as long as possible to take that strangle. I don't want to hear any complaining. All right. Little green right there going up to S1. How do you secure TSP? Well, prior to with this huge sell-off, nothing was safe. There's nothing you could do. I mean, the G fund wasn't safe. Nothing was safe. Once the bonds catch a bid, transfer to this G fund if you think we're going down even more. So if you think we're going to continue to fall, transfer to G fund. But I've got 60-40 allocated with C fund, S fund. And there's a big green candle roni. All right, so 1 minute, we got European close. Let's see how we react. Y'all are trying to scalp the small stuff when I'm waiting for the big stuff. I wish y'all would trust me by now. Between posting 800% win and 1,700% win, patience will pay off. Patience. Yeah, patient purple. There you go. Trust me, nickels and dimes, we'll have another one here soon. If we get any kind of bull rally again, once we start consolidating after the rally, I'm taking another position like that, and I'll hold it just as hard. Is it okay to play a strangle when you're going long with an expiration date and short with an expiration next week? You're not going to get the action you're looking for. Playing different expirations like that is I don't think that that's considered a real strangle. It is essentially, but you're not going to get the action that's going to benefit you. So with the G fund, I believe we haven't reached a bottom yet, so the G fund probably won't get hit as hard. I would say upper 100s is when we'll start to get some decent support in the bonds. So if we start getting down to like 99, 98 on the bonds, I would consider transferring to the G fund if you think we're going to continue on down on the regular market, because then we'll start having a safe haven. Right now, there is no safe haven. Everything's getting destroyed, and until we get that safe haven, we're not gonna find a bottom. You can play a strangle on a cash account. All a strangle is long in a call and long in a put, which you can do on a cash account. You cannot short on that, but you can do long. What is the G fund? The G fund is the bond fund on the TSP, which is the Thrift Service Plan, which is the federal employees version of a 401k. So if you are a federal employee and you want to talk about some TSP stuff, let me know. If I sell a call, can the buyer close early, or is the close dependent on me to roll or close? It depends what equity you are shorting a call on. But they can, in theory, they can exercise anytime they want. They don't, like, there's a misconception that you can only be exercised if you're in the money. That's not true. You can be exercised anytime you want. Now, will they exercise if they're not in the money? No, because you would be stupid to do that. But now, that's one of the reasons that I only write spreads on SPX and SPX alone, because there is no exercise risk on SPX. They're cash settled. So, European versus American options. There you go. That's right. Can you update us on the in the money puts we've been watching, or when these are sold off? What do you mean? You talking about the 3660s? I missed what you said about cash accounts. All right, somebody asked if yeah, so somebody asked if you could write long strangles on a cash account. You can't, because all a long strangle is buying a call, buying a put. My girlfriend has a TSP, wondering if she can roll it over to another company and manage it herself. That is outside of my scope. I've never done it before. I'm assuming you can. You do have options to roll it, but I'm not entirely sure. Just because I've never done it, and I don't want to speak on something I don't know about. Every now and then I'll throw in some DXY, yeah, but not often. I've got enough to watch that I'm pretty much squared away. Now, if there's one big piece of advice I would give you with the TSP account, is the TSP allows you to choose between self-managed, which you get to choose your allocation with CS, whatever, or a life cycle fund, like the 30/50 or the 20/50, 20/70, 20/40 life cycle funds. I do not do the life cycle funds. To me, they're not aggressive enough. So I want to do self-managed 60/40 CS fund and be done with it. Another rejection here between S1 and S2. We do not want to move away from this area, which is why I'm not playing anything right now. I'm sitting on my hands, and I'm going to wait for a rally or a sell-off going into OPEX or the end of the day. Oh, nice. So I'm good. So TD did fix your trade. Good. Good. Oh, man. G Fund since 2008? Why? So just when you start to look at the breakout, it fails on you. So How do you think OPEX results will carry into the aftermarket? Probably pretty flat. Going into the long weekend, everything that will need to be done will be done at before the bell. So I won't expect too much in the aftermarket. What's my opinion on TLT? I think we'll see 100 or like 99 to 100, and then things will start transitioning into a long play on TLT, which I will be doing. I did not expect this really rally to 112. I thought we'd kind of fizzle out, maybe 109, because I was looking to go long calls on TLT. Just I didn't expect this. However, I can't complain. I've done pretty dang well the past 2 weeks. What happens to your SPX premium if you don't close the contract and expires in the money? Assuming you're talking about long options, it'll just settle for whatever the premium is at the close. So whatever the value is at close, they'll settle the contract. XLE is 73. God, it's still falling. Wow. Let's take a look at the 1 year. Look at that candle on XLE. Talk about, you know what the puts would have paid on that? From 93 to 73. God. I can tell you. Nice, Z. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. So Bookmap has got 3690. They've got 3670. So we're just kind of pinned in this 20-point range at the moment. I would say we're probably pinned here plus or minus 1520 going into the end of the day. NASDAQ doesn't really have all that much. I don't really want to end the day on a bunch of stupid losses, so I'm just kind of being very patient here, sitting on my hands. I'm up green on the day. My NASDAQ futures are up $6,100 at the moment, so I'm just kind of letting those play out, see what they're going to do. There's been a roller coaster ride on these NASDAQ longs. I've been up to 8,900. I just went down to break even, and now I'm up 6,000 on them again. So I'm just kind of letting them do their thing. Another sell-off, 367.30 to 365.40. That's a $2 drop. What's the difference between Tier 2 membership? Tier 2, we do the Sunday night. We just started Sunday night breakdown, so we'll come on a call Sunday night, and we'll do the weekly outlook. Plus, you get 2 to 3 Zoom calls a month. And then I'm slowly building in more and more content as well for the Tier 2. But right now, those are the big things. What's OPEX? OPEX is options expiration. It's the time of the month where all the options start to roll and expire, and usually provides a lot of volatility in the markets. Oh, nice, lose it. Man, y'all are killing on the XLE puts. What time on Sunday? It is going to be next Sunday, not this Sunday. It'll be 5 o'clock Eastern time next Sunday. There's also recordings, too. So all the past Zoom calls are recorded, so you can go back and look through the content. We're in the process of filing those with descriptions, so you can pretty much pick and choose which one you want to listen to. Oh, nice, Dallin. Good stuff, man. Let me know if you need any help. Hard to believe after all this, SPY is about even. Yep. So my prediction, plus or minus 15 to 20 points, they're going to pin us here the entire day. And then about 2 hours before, or 2.5 hours before the close, they're going to rally us or tank us, one of the two. After they unravel all their puts, they'll close out their short positions, and they'll start unraveling all the options chain, and we'll have a crap ton of liquidity, and then bam. If I want to change tier, how do I go about? If you are signed up, well, yeah, the website, head over to send a message to Mrs. OM, and she'll get you squared away. If you've already signed up for Tier 1 and you want to transition over, we'll get you squared away. First day back on the server for 6 months. What's up, Rocket? How you doing, buddy? Glad to have you back. It depends which short positions, AJ. Nice. Pew pew at you. Y'all with your names. Y'all with your names. Oh yeah, that dude nailed the butterfly, didn't he? Man, he nailed it down to like $5 on ES. He nailed that butterfly. 3 days in a row. Killing it. Man, something smells good. What is she cooking in there? To the penny. Whew. Max Payne is 422 today? Man. What are you cooking?
I'm experimenting. It's a sandwich.
I like it. Took a flight this morning, closed out position on takeoff, barely got my. Oh, nice. I know your thesis is very bullish for the long term. Is your thesis bullish for the next? No, not 2 to 4 weeks. Not 2 to 4 weeks. Not with a 75 hike looming and all this crap going on. I think the only reason I was bullish today is because of the mechanics, the options chain. That's it. And even still, I mean, look how heavy this is. Like the sellers are killing it. The sellers killed this all pre-market, killed it now. It's just there's too much. There's too much sellers. There's no one wanting to buy this stuff. 2020, 2021, that was Tickle Me Elmo in its height. This year, it's Tickle Me Elmo after the back end when everyone already had one and no one cared anymore. Nobody wanted to buy it anymore. Quite the analogy. I always use the Tickle Me Elmo analogy. Always. That's an economic study. If you ever go back and read what happened, man, it's an economic study. How did Tickle Me Elmo do what it did? Who cares about a little stuffed animal that laughs? Well, it's a basic supply and demand. And that's what happened in 2020 and 2021. Any stocks you'd say are super cheap? Yeah, everything's super cheap. But they're not at the bottom yet. They'll be even cheaper in about 300 points. What? Yeah. He just explained it. How do I play OPEX? With patience. You'll know the move when it starts to be made. Right now, I think they're going to chop us here in this little bitty range, and we'll know the move when it gets to be made. Not yet. Not yet. I need to do them. My back is smoked too. I did my first set of pull-ups last night. Smoked. $365.55. All right, coming back down here. I'm very curious where they're going to take us because there's a lot of selling pressure today, obviously. So I'm curious where they just absorbed that huge level at 3650. It's 3670. I'm just curious where they're going to take us. Like, this is substantial selling pressure. They've been hitting it the entire night, all night long. So we're either going under 36 or we're going over 37. But one of them needs to kind of step out and say, all right, I'm done. Yeah, rocket. It's a long story, Chief, but no, I feel you. I feel you. So they got 3660 on. They've got 3680 on. And that's about it. If there was one If there was one overarching rule I would give you all to become a better trader and more profitable, it would be trade about 50% less. I don't mean position size. I mean like the times you enter and exit. 50% less. Trade less. And I guarantee you'll start to become more profitable. The more patient you are, the more profitable you become. That's the huge thing I've learned. In the midst of the NASDAQ being down 30%, in the midst of everyone getting blown up, crypto being liquidated, the ARK fund being liquidated, all this crap, my account performance this year is incredible because I wait. I'm patient. I've been called perma-bear because I'm sitting here waiting for crashes. Yeah, well, I made 1,700%. I don't care about chopping up stuff left and right. I don't care about playing chop unless I'm just sitting here toying around a little bit here and there, but let the position come to you. Whew, 25%, Lee Rat. 25%. Almost there. Twitter is a great way to figure out what not to play because the more the sentiment on Twitter becomes like massively accepted, the more you can guarantee that the market is going to counter that move. In all the FOMCs we have had in the past year, not once did I hear Twitter talk about strangles. Not once. Nobody was talking about strangles. On Tuesday, everybody was talking about strangles. Can't wait to put on a strangle. We're going to put on a strangle. I'm going to put on a strangle. 6 dudes with 100,000 followers. We're doing strangles. I was like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. They did it on CPI. They did it on FOMC. And it's not because it's a conspiracy. It's because that's how you make the most money. When you're a big player, you counter the play because that's how you get max pain. Is you counter the consensus. Because that's how you squeeze people out of their emotions. You squeeze people out of the positions. What's the opposite of a strangle? A short strangle. So the opposite of a strangle is a short strangle. Because the worst possible movement you can have for a long strangle is to pin dead flat. The best possible move you can have for a short strangle is to pin dead flat. Or an iron condor. So most people don't have the funds to trade a short strangle. It requires an incredible amount of capital. So an iron condor reduces your buying power greatly. So you can play that. Iron condor is in a strangle, in a short strangle. An iron condor and a short strangle are the same exact thing, except an iron condor has way outside the money long legs, so you can reduce your buying power. Are you looking to break above R1 to take calls? Honestly, I'm not really looking at much. I'm kind of being patient for a big move here. There'll be a big enough move where we can identify it. The great thing about plays like this, a day like today, is that it's not an event-driven catalyst like FOMC. So at the implied volatility is still low. So cool little 30-point sell-off on ES here. Continuing to get pounded. Look at these sell-offs. So it's 30 minutes up, 5 minutes down. 30 minutes up, 5 minutes down. Would an iron condor work with all this chop? It would work with all this chop until it breaks out and you get smoked. Man, we couldn't even break above the day's open. That's not good. I was looking for a little bit of retracement to R1, but we couldn't even break above the day's open. So we got 3660 as liquidity, 3650, and they're just chopping us. They are just chopping us. All right, y'all. I got some lunch going here. Nothing's going on. I'm not going to take much in here until we get a breakout, so I'm going to call that a morning. It's 12 o'clock Eastern Time. We still have 4 hours left in the market. So I will catch y'all later. Remember, Monday is closed. The market's closed on Monday for our new federal holiday. So we will pick up trading on Tuesday. So I will see you, catch y'all in the Discord definitely on Tuesday morning. But I am going to jump on later. Same status quo as always. So I'll plan on a couple of minutes before power hour. If volatility picks up, we'll jump on before, which I do anticipate volatility picking up before. So most likely I'll eat lunch, I'll hang out here for about an hour, and we'll jump back on. I'd love to do, hey, that's a good idea, Patient Purple. Hey, you know what? That's a great idea. I'll announce some details. Let me write down some details about that. So, all right, I'll see y'all a little later. YouTube, I'll see you Tuesday. Y'all take it easy. I'm out.